So this is, if you've never flown the 15 in DCS, this thing right there, that's the radar screen on the F-15. And it looks similar to the Hornets. So on the left, each one of these verticals, the Hornet doesn't have the grid, but they have the same markings. Each grid is 30 degrees. So if, let's see if I can move the TDC. If you move your TDC here, that's 30 degrees to your left. That's 60 degrees. And the Hornets actually goes really to the edge here. If you can see that, it goes an extra 10 degrees left and right because it's got a 140 degree. It's got a 140 degree width. So it's a little bit bigger than this, but for this, this will work. So what I want to demonstrate here is that your radar is looking out ahead of you in a cone, and the farther out that you look, the more you can see. I know that seems counterintuitive because, the farther out, the harder it is to see. In this regard, between about, I want to say about, this is an 80-mile view. So each one of these bars is 20 miles. So typically in the Hornet, you can see other aircraft from about 60 or 70 miles out. So this is about the maximum range. I think we can move this in and out, right? Yeah. So I want to show you sort of what happens. And I think a lot of times we really struggle with situational awareness when things get close. What range do you typically engage with the 120? If the bandit's coming towards you, it's hot, which we can see from the TWS. See, they're pointing at us. The bandits are all hot. What range would you typically start to engage, like an Su-27?
Depends on the altitude.
Okay, let's say
15
you're
miles.
20,000 feet. Your co-altitude, 20,000 feet.
I'd say around 18 miles.
25 miles.
15 to 20.
Yeah,
I go
15
10
to
miles.
20.
10 nautical miles.
Another question, and we'll do this another time, but when is he going to fire at you?
20
Around
miles.
20 miles.
That's a good question.
No, see, he has Fox 1, so he's going to want to get those missiles off as quickly as possible. So he's going to fire at max range, so 20 miles.
20 miles. ER goes 20 miles. We'll come back to that because we'll do some more training. We've done this before, but we'll do some more training on how to defend against ERs. Yeah, that's pretty average. I would say they could probably, if you're at 20,000 feet, they could probably shoot close to 30 miles, but we'll call it 20. So let's say your bandit's a little higher than you. He's at 31,000 feet, and you're at 20,000 feet. Let's see what happens when he gets to 20 miles. So you're scanning. You haven't moved your radar. It's just looking straight ahead. You're not slewing it up or down. You're just looking ahead. What happens when he's coming at you? Okay, he's at 40 miles now, and you're going, oh shit, this is going to get real. So you zoom in your radar. He's here. He's coming in. He's coming towards you. He's at 30,000 feet. Let me raise him up just a tiny bit. He's at 30. I want him at 31. Okay, so he's at 40 miles. So you zoom in your radar after he comes a little closer. This is your 40-mile scan. You're looking at him. He's coming. He's at 30 miles right here because each bar is 10 now, right? And so you're looking to shoot at him real close. So blue's going to wait to 20 miles, right? He gets to 20 miles. Holy shit, he just disappeared. What happened?
DCS crashed.
He's above your cone.
Yeah, he's above it. So you need to be aware of what the limits are, what your azimuth limits are, or sorry, your elevation limits are of your cone, depending on the range. And this is the lethal range right here. So if you got everything disappearing within 20 miles, that's when it matters the most. So obviously the solution is just zoom it up just a tad. So, and I'm not saying that nobody does this, but it's worth looking at. You need to look at your TDC. Now on the Hornet, obviously it's got the upper and lower bounds on the TDC, but on the F-15, it's on the left here. And you can see that as I move the TDC in and out, the radar's not moving, but the bounds, telling you that the bounds are different. So it actually tells you the volume. So if this guy's cruising at 30,000, you want to stay underneath him, which makes sense because you get a better radar lock on him to stay underneath him. That makes sense, especially in the F-14, you'd want to do that. But if he's back here, and let's say you got your radar just barely touching him, you're going to want to say, okay, at 20 miles, I'm going to engage him. What's the upper bound of my radar? Okay, it's right at 31 miles. I might want to move it up just a tad so I don't lose him. But again, then you're going to sacrifice. You're going to lose the low guy beneath him, or right behind him. So this guy's only 5 miles behind him. So now you can't see him. So that's going to be tough to track. But I just wanted to demonstrate this tool for you guys so you could see it and help you sort of understand that you are going to have to move your radar around, and the radar moves kind of slow in the Hornet, although I think it's pretty realistic. 15 radar moves super fast. But play with your elevation. If you don't have key map to your HOTAS, make sure that you figure out a system for that. I don't think the 18 can move it left and right like this, but when we get TWS, which is I think coming very soon, you're going to do this a lot. It'll follow your scan here, and you'll have a ton of information available on all this stuff. So
Is that still the case if you have him locked up?
yeah, so if you lock him, it's going to automatically change the bounds of your radar. It'll continue to track him, and if you lock him in TWS, it'll do that as well. But it'll automatically move the scan zone. So if I move it over here, see how it stops?
Okay.
It doesn't let you move the radar outside of your target that you have locked. So, and if you have multiple guys locked, it'll set the bounds for all of them. Now, if this guy fly over here, if he flies outside of your radar cone, obviously, he's not there anymore. He'll unlock because this is your primary target. But I'm not 100% sure how the TWS will work. But generally speaking, it's pretty smart. You can move your TDC around quite a bit. You can move it up and down. So this guy is still at 30,000 right here. This says 38. That's his actual altitude. If I move it down, oh shit, it's not supposed to do that. You can't, it won't actually let you, in the 15, it won't let you move it down below or above him as well. So you can feel free to slew it around and get a better picture once you get a lock. So it's actually really useful. But so that's coming soon.
So you're saying that TWS, it's following your cursor? There's no left slew, right slew, angle up, angle down. I mean, sorry, left slew and right slew. It's actually just the cursor itself.
You'll be able to do both actually. You'll be able to lock it like this to the TDC, but you'll also be able to unlock it and move the TDC independent of slewing the radar.
Cool.
But to be honest, it's pretty damn useful to have it following your TDC because the only time you want to unlock it, I think, is if there's two guys here, and let's say I wanted to lock the right guy without losing a picture of my left guy. So in this case, I have to go over here, lose the picture of one guy to lock him, and so really what you would do is unlock it and then lock both targets. But you can't do in the 15. You actually have to just that, and then go over, find this guy, and hit that. Now I can fire at both. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about in this training is being able to maintain a picture with your radar is important. We may do some drills on that, and just so you can get a feel for how much you need to move your radar to keep them in your picture. This, what I wanted to do is to demonstrate some cockpit indications for angles. So, and to do that, I have my track IR overlay, and it's roughly in the center here. And this is about where your helmet cube will be. It's a little low the center of your HUD. It's always like right here. What I want to do is I want to show you that if we go to the left here, this line right here is 10 degrees, right? So that means that this one here is 10 degrees. So that means there's about a 20-degree angle off bore sight in your HUD. And that directly corresponds to what your radar sees. If the guy's 10 degrees to your left, he's going to be somewhere in this area here. And so that's one indicator, is the size of your HUD. And then the next big one is your canopy rail here. Anybody know what it is without me?
40 degrees.
Close. It's very close. It's pretty common in all the planes too. It's right at the center of it's right at about 45 degrees. So if you figure on your radar display, that's right here. That's this. This is 30 degrees. That's this right here. So if I move this guy over here and he's coming in at 30,000 feet, you know to go to your cockpit, he's somewhere over here. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to draw a correlation between your radar display and what you can see in the cockpit. So this is 40 degrees. Each one of these is 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40. So this guy's going to be somewhere here. And since he's higher than me, he's going to be up here somewhere. Now, of course, you can cheat in the Hornet, and you can see it in your helmet-mounted display, but let's say you're looking at your SA page, and you're thinking, okay, that guy's about, 45, like he's not 90, he's less than that, but he's below you, and he's not on your radar screen, you can kind of look over here and try and lock him with your A9X or something like that. So that's why this stuff is important. So you're right, this is 45 degrees, this is 10 degrees, and then 60 degrees is this third bolt right here. Actually, so this is 60. So let's see if I can get that back up. Still centered, 60 degrees is right there. Yeah, so let's freeze it. Right there. That third bolt. So to go from 45 to 60 degrees is not much, but on your radar display, that's the difference between being right here and right here, is that little bit. So that's 20 degrees almost. So just keep in mind, that this is 60 degrees, and that's sort of the limit of your radar is right here. This little third nugget. What is this? A rivet or something? And it's the same on both sides. So this is the limit. This is the scan limit of your radar.
I guess it's worth noting that, like that whole vertical line, wherever he is on that line, if he's on that 60-degree line or that you're calling out, if he's down really close, he's still going to be right on that rivet, but he's going to be like huge. And if he's like way up at the top, he's still at that 60-degree rivet, but he's further away. Like, that's how the B-scope works, right?
Yeah, so it's a little weird because these are angles, right? But you don't see it like you see this. That's one of the advantages of the 14 and the Mirage is they can kind of see a physical representation of the radar. Keep in mind that if he's here or if he's here, this is a 30-degree line, no matter what. So when you look in your cockpit, he's going to be right inside here, no matter where. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. If he's here, it's 30 degrees. So this doesn't you would think that the farther out he goes, the angle.
No, you got it.
You're looking at this versus this, right? So there's an angle difference, but it's actually the same angle in the cockpit. So it's always right here if he's on that line.
So wait, if the Hornet has a 140-degree scan or search thing, Bob, doesn't that mean that it would have 70 degrees of search? Because 70 plus 70 is 140.
It does. So it actually the Hornet radar has these same markations. They mean the exact same thing. They're just down at the bottom. So it's got a mark here, and it's got a mark here, and then it's actually got another mark here. So it looks exactly the same except it doesn't have the grid, but they mean the same thing. This one still means 30, this one still means 60, and this one means an extra 10. So it does go from 70 to 70.
Doesn't it when you put it at 140, it takes the radar longer to scan that big block than it does if you were to go down to 80?
Yes. And that's why the TWS is hold on, get out of that. That's why the TWS, you can see when you switch to TWS here, right, you get more information, but the scan volume is smaller because the tracks have to be updated. There's like a minimum amount of time for the track to be updated. Like in the F-14, it's 2 seconds. So the scan volume is actually smaller. It's what is it, Rats? It's 40 degrees. In the Hornet, it's 60 degrees. And in the F-15, it's also 30 degrees left and right of your wherever your TDC is. In the 14, it's actually only 20 degrees left and right. So, but and there is and it's a 4-bar scan. So,
okay. So at the beginning, you want longer range targets. You really want your RWS up to scan long, and as you're getting closer, the TWS will be more beneficial.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to model it, but usually your TWS is not as strong of a scan, so you're going to be able to pick things up farther out in RWS, and you've got a greater volume. So we don't really need to go into how you can figure out how altitude and all that stuff. Although you will have LTWS, which really helps because that's still an RWS scan, but it's giving you a little bit more information. That's the advantage of LTWS, is that you can maintain your 140-degree scan volume, but you can sort of see some more information about the targets. You can do your NCTR interrogations and all that crazy crap.
I don't have the F-18, but there's one thing that is super fast is when you're on long-range scan, like 80 miles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Your pulse repeat frequency, do you have that in the 18?
Yes.
Use it. At 80 miles, if you find your targets on normal radar, range while scan, and then if you switch, if you're in high PRF and you go to TWS when you get it, your scan stays in high PRF and you pick up all your contacts really quick.
That's a good point. I got a graph. Hold on. So PRF, like, we don't need to get into what it is, but there's different modes you can put your radar in. There's high, interleaved, and medium. And high PRF can see out really, really far things that are moving towards your radar. So if you know there's some bandits out there and you know they're coming towards you and you can't see them on your radar scope yet, you want to pick them up at 80 miles, switch it to high. It's in the bottom left corner of your DDI or your whatever it is, your MFD. Interleaved, it's each scan, each time it goes left and right, it switches back and forth between high and medium. And medium is better for targets that are moving away from you and targets that are in close, and it's less susceptible to ground clutter. So medium, once you get to 20 miles and you fire, you want to consider going to medium or just leave it. Most people just leave it in interleaf. That's pretty typical, but I have PRF mapped to my HOTAS on the 15 because it is really, really good at seeing stuff up close, and it's really, really good against ground clutter. Like, it's much better. So medium PRF is where I would go in a fight in the 15.
Why is interlead bad on the 15 and not bad on the 18?
Because it's a little harder to switch in the 18, but I would go to medium inside 20 miles easy. So once you fire your AMRAM, it should break lock to switch. I don't think they've modeled it yet, but you should be able to fire it in TWS anyway. So they'll fix all that crap. But I would switch to medium PRF once you get within firing range.
So why is there not a low RPF or PRF so that way you could see targets that are moving cold farther away?
Because 20 miles is enough. There's nothing that.
Yeah, your missile isn't going to catch them cold anyway.
Even if
I mean, you got to get in.
Time. Yeah, we're talking about radar geometry, and I'll link you guys this tool so you can go in and play with it, and move bogeys around and get a feel for it. I really would like you to see that, pay special attention to 20-mile area and move them around, keep track of their altitude, and really get a feel for, if I'm at 20,000 feet, when are they gonna, something at 30,000 feet is gonna fall off right at 20 miles. That's really useful to sort of just keep banging around in your head. You just need to be aware of that. Same is true of a guy below you. If this guy is at 10,000 feet, he's gonna fall off at the same distance. So you're gonna have to slow your radar down so you can still fire at him. And this is true, like, if you're scanning, if you're in a left turn and your buddy's getting engaged and you're trying to find him on radar at 20 miles, you're still in a scan mode. You're not using your ACM mode at that point. You're still scanning. This is the hardest part of engagement, in my opinion, is trying to find them on the radar, right? At 20 to 25 miles. That's the hard thing. You might want to leave it in interleaf because there's this funky zone there where medium PRF doesn't work. Sometimes you need to pick somebody up at 30 miles, in order to shoot them, because ERs, if they're above you and they got an ER, they could shoot at you from 30 miles. Maybe. I don't know. They changed the RMAX for the ER, so I don't know what it is now anymore. Also, I think the security, damn it, what is it called?
HTTPS.
Yeah, there's whatever the
cert?
Security token or cert. The cert. Yeah, I think it's expired, or
yeah, I saw your note.
We bought it from a dodgy Russian, and it's expired. So when I send you the link, you may have to override your browser setting to view it, but it's a useful tool for playing with it. So I encourage you just to kind of play with it a little bit, and that's it. That's all I got. Let's go fly something.